Just an absolutely amazing view looking east from the top of America's Mountain. This is Pikes Peak, Colorado, overlooking Colorado Springs, and things looking absolutely gorgeous here. But the concern is maybe a bit too gorgeous in the sense that we're talking about temperatures that are on the warm side of average, gusty winds, and that continued sunshine. That has been our continuing theme throughout the winter months and now into the early portion of spring. Drought concerns with some of those gusty winds leading to high fire danger here across the Centennial State. We're going to get into more detail on this coming up right here on Weather Nation. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi, the meteorologist Nick Marianos.
Yeah, you know, we have a large swath there, red flag warning stretching essentially from southeastern California through the Four Corners states all the way out into the plains of eastern Kansas. This brings us not just through today, of course, but also as we move into Thursday for the high fire danger concerns.
And for a bit more detail on what we can expect here and to the also for fire prevention, we're now joined from the Colorado Division of Fire Prevention and Control, Kaylee Fisher joining us now on Skype. And Kaylee, we appreciate a few minutes of your time. I kind of want to get into some of the things with this very ominous, potentially ominous forecast here for Thursday, maybe even into Friday. Fire prevention, first and foremost, what can people do? What can the average person do to help avoid the potential and increase the potential for wildfires?
So one of the biggest things that people can do are follow a lot of the prevention tips that Colorado DFPC is posting on our website. Things like, don't mow or trim grass on windy days, ensure campfires are completely extinguished, never leave a campfire unattended, never pull your vehicle into dry grass. We encourage delaying any outdoor activity that could potentially cause a spark that could inflame a fire into a much disastrous wildfire.
And Kaylee, this past season, especially across parts of the Four Corners states, precipitation this year has been a bit on the lower side of things. We talked about some mountain summits, especially into the foothills, where they haven't received as much precipitation, even bare ground. Now, what are some of these signs looking ahead for this season with respect to the fire outlook?
While it's a little too early to forecast with accuracy what the 2018 fire season is going to bring, the current prediction models indicate an above average core fire season for 2018. It's going to be similar to 2012 or the 2013 fire season, unfortunately.
That is certainly not good news. If you're from Colorado, 2012, 2013, producing the High Park Fire, the Waldo Canyon Fire, as well as the Black Forest Fire, a string of deadly wildfires that ravaged much of the Centennial State. So that is certainly ominous news here. But Kaylee, as we head through the next little while as well, looking at the drought monitor map, what are some of the tools that maybe you use? You're saying that you can't say with exact accuracy, but what are some of the tools and indications right now that are giving you the idea that it could be that bad of a fire season?
Well, we had an abnormally dry winter, which left our mountains nearly barren. And we have moderate to extreme drought conditions all throughout Colorado, specifically in the southern and the eastern plains. The lack of significant snowpack paired with strong winds and significantly warmer temperatures, and the abundance of these fuels left over from 2017. It makes Colorado an increasingly vulnerable state to severe wildfire conditions.
All right, Kaylee Fisher, thank you very much for your time this evening. We appreciate that. She's the Public Affairs Officer for the Colorado Division of Fire Prevention and Control. We talked about the fire danger, at least going into the season, Chris, how it's going to be on the higher end. But moving ahead, at least in the short term, fire danger already quite high, given how dry it is, the lack of precipitation in recent months. You've seen the drought monitor across parts of the south and the southeast, how it's just many areas under a severe or even extreme drought. Critical fire conditions will be in place here at least over the next 24 to 36 hours. So essentially, given the conditions that we have at hand, if a fire is started at a certain point, and especially with the winds that we have in place and the low humidity levels and the higher temperatures, we even had some record highs in the last 24 hours here. It's going to lead to the potential for that fire to grow and expand out of control so quickly. And that's why we have those critical fire danger conditions for another day here on Thursday. So it's very important to take in precautions, some of those fire safety tips to avoid having these fires starting and even expanding out of control pretty quickly, considering how dry it has been. And speaking of that and the rising temperatures we have had, we'll be talking more about some of the record warmth across the Southwest. That's next.